The Negev desert blazed under the early sun. Sand rose in silent waves, and far off the mountains jagged up like the land's backbone. Inside a leather tent, Abraham woke earlier than usual. He washed his face, tightened his belt, and sat still. He was long accustomed to quiet moments before leading the herds out, but this morning, the stillness felt like an unseen hand resting on his shoulder. Then the familiar voice that still made him tremble rose within. Stay till the final second, and you'll see the secret this story has hidden for 3,000 years. God never wanted to take from people what they love most. He wanted to open a way for the heart to love in the right order. And at the end, one small detail, no bigger than the horn of an animal, will change how you understand faith forever. Abraham, here I am. Take your son, your only son whom you love, Isaac, and go to the land of Moriah. There, offer him as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you. The word hit like a heavy stone. Abraham's heartbeat slowed. Isaac was not just a son. He was the harvest of a promise, rain after 40 years of drought, laughter sprouting at an age when hope usually dries up. Now the very one who gave that promise asked him to lay it on the altar. He could ask why, he could argue, he could pretend not to hear, but Abraham only sighed, bowed his head, and made ready. At daybreak he saddled a donkey, split wood, called 2 servants, and called Isaac. The teenager ran up, eyes bright as clear water. You called me, Father? Abraham nodded, steady voice. We're going to Moriah. They left Beersheba. The sun lifted like a red coin. Long shadows crossed stone mounds, camel tracks, and ancient wells. 3 men and a boy walked in silence, only steps and wind threading through acacia trees. Day 1, Abraham wrestled with answers inside. If God has promised, could he raise the dead? If Isaac is the seed, can a seed be sown and rise in a way I do not understand? He didn't say it aloud, but sometimes his hand trembled on the staff. Day 2, Isaac told his father about a new lambing flock, the milk-sweet scent on the grass, a dream of a hawk perched on the tent pole. Abraham nodded, smiling with damp eyes. Each story from his son felt like a tug toward the cliff's edge. Day 3, a distant hill surfaced through a thin veil of mist. Abraham stopped and said to the servants,
Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go there to worship, and we will come back to you.
They nodded, thinking this was a sacred outing like others. They didn't know Abraham planted a seed of hope in that sentence. We will come back, plural. Abraham laid the wood on Isaac's back and carried the fire and the knife himself. They climbed in the wind. After a while, Isaac spoke.
Father,
I'm here, son.
we have the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for the offering?
The innocent question flew like an arrow. Abraham looked at him, the lines by his eyes tightening.
God himself will provide, my son.
They went on, a reply simple enough to calm the boy, strong enough to keep the father's heart from breaking. The summit of Moriah was as empty as a room no one had ever entered. Abraham built an altar of stones and arranged the wood. Familiar motions turned into the slow ritual of a man trying to stretch out each remaining second. Then he turned to Isaac. No verse says the boy fought. Perhaps the father's eyes already told him this was bigger than fear. Isaac let himself be bound, like a seed resting still in a sower's hand. Abraham laid his son upon the wood. He raised the knife. The world shrank to a trembling blade in an old man's hand, to breath that came sharp and a drumbeat heart wrapped in cloth.
Abraham, Abraham.
The voice split the sky like thunder in sunlight. He stopped.
Here I am.
Do not lay a hand on the boy. Do not harm him. Now I know that you fear God, because you have not withheld from me your only son.
His arm fell like a cut rope. Salt sweat slid through his beard. He lifted his eyes. A ram caught by its horns in a thicket, struggling with a soft clatter like a bell announcing news. Abraham went, took it, and offered it as a burnt offering in Isaac's place. The smoke rose straight up, like a narrow road climbing back toward heaven. He named that place, "The Lord Will Provide." The name dropped like an anchor into the human heart. What we cannot untie, God will open. And the angel spoke again.
Because you did not withhold your son, I will bless you. Make your descendants as countless as stars and sand. Through your offspring, all nations will be blessed.
Father and son came down the mountain together. Their first steps on the slope felt lighter than the wind. Maybe Isaac still felt the rope's memory on his wrists. Maybe Abraham still heard the knife ring in his own. But between them, something had risen that no rope could bind. Trust. Back home, the story did not end at dinner. That ridge would become the temple's mount, later called Moriah, then the dome of the rock. From an old father's stone altar, history drew a line toward another hill, where another son would lie on wood, and this time no voice would cry, "Stop." There, God gave himself, so no child would ever die on the altar of fear again. So what does God want? Not blood, not self-punishing rituals. He wants a heart that puts him before anxiety and control. He wants us to see that every gift is his. And when he asks for it, it's to show the spring of blessing was never dry. Remember those 3 silent days. They weren't cruel delay. They were faith's hallway, where a man learns to walk on shaking legs without taking his eyes off the one who called him. Every life has a Moriah road, a place you must lay down what's most precious, not to lose it, but to know where it comes from. When you wonder why the story cuts so deep, look at the small horn detail promised at the beginning. The ram caught by its horns in thorns. Horns are the crown of wild strength. Thorns, the crown of a hard, dry land. When horns catch in thorns, brute force is held so peace can be made. That's the sign. God does not want human blood. He prepares another offering, turning fear into blessing. From that day on, whenever the Jewish people retold this story, they remembered the Lord will provide was never just. If you've stayed with us this far, the opening promise has come true. The curtain has drawn back. God never intended to take Isaac. He intended to give Isaac back to Abraham in a new way, not owned by a human grip, but held inside a covenant of love. And when we place our dearest thing on the altar, it isn't to end it, but to begin a life free from fear, a faith that can smile even while the hand still trembles. So ask yourself, what is your Moriah? A relationship, a dream, or your need to control? If today all you can carry is fire and a knife, remember there's still a word: the Lord will provide. Somewhere in a thorny thicket, a ram is already waiting. And when the screen closes, the story keeps going in small choices. Choosing trust over fear, giving instead of clinging, climbing the mountain on unsteady legs. Because at the summit, there is always one who calls your name with the same gentle voice that called Abraham long ago. The ancients called it a burnt offering because it was consumed smoke straight to heaven, meaning everything belongs to God. That's why Abraham's test went to the core. He didn't offer halfway. He placed what was most whole upon the altar. When the ram appeared, he understood. God receives faithfulness, not Isaac's life. That hill would one day hold a temple. Rising incense recalled that morning Abraham named the mount, "The Lord will provide." In exile in return, when the city fell and was rebuilt, the people whispered, "He will provide." A small sentence like a breath, strong enough to carry a soul through storms. You ask, if I've clutched what I love so tightly, I've lost my peace, is there a way back? Look at father and son walking down together. The trial didn't sever. It taught them to hold hands tighter. Tonight, say 3 simple words: Lord, provide. That light is enough for one more step, and at the slope's end, in the thorny tangle, you'll hear a faint clink, a horn caught, reminding you faithfulness never wanders alone. If this story touched your faith, please subscribe and ring the bell so you won't miss the next episode. Tap like so the algorithm knows this is worth watching. Share it with someone who needs a lift today, and comment one thing you're taking away, or simply write, "My Mariah is," so I can pin and reply to each of you. You can also save this video to a playlist for the day you need a push of courage. Next week, I'll tell you about another mountain where fear is traded for peace. Don't miss it. Thank you for walking with us. Every sub, like, share, and comment doesn't just help this channel grow, it helps this good news travel farther.